Fox, which lost at least $1.5 million worth of merchandise in the blaze. Now, Denny Ellis, of 56 years old of Nevada, was charged with arson, aggravated arson, on the 20th of October, a day after his vehicle was spotted through the use of license plate reading cameras in Elk Grove Village. He remains in custody following an initial court appearance. He is due back in court November 15th. I'm Marky B. This is the Talk of the Town.
Produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
Roll into Bolero in Algonquin or Roselle and wake up with a story to tell. Bolero is bowling, gaming, dining, and nightlife with a twist. Score a sweet deal every day of the week and save big by checking out the daily deals online. Team up with your friends and hit the lanes by forming your own social club. Clubs offer lively competition and laid-back fun for everyone. From beginners to pros, make new friends, bowl, and hang out at a happening place. Visit Bolero.com. For local information and fun times in the mornings, listen to Marky B and Larry Jones on the first shift.
Maybe we need to get a radio intern in to help you.
Maybe so.
Somebody that you won't have to pay and you can treat them tough.
I can haze them.
You can't haze. You'll get fired. Remember that guy from Northwestern?
Yeah.
Gone.
Did he really do it?
You don't have to really do it. If somebody says you did,
yeah,
good enough. Maybe I'm going to accuse you of hazing me. I don't have to prove it.
It's the first shift, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on WRMN.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dino's Night Out. No, I am not Dino. Dino is at another party because you know how that guy is. It is actually a wedding. Thank you, Dino, and congratulations out there. Thanks for everything that you do. I am absolutely honored to be the one to present the Night Out show right here. Dino's Night Out specifically. I guess today it'll be Dennis's Night Out. I'm not in the industry. I'm not usually used to being called Dennis, but Sonar's Night Out is not as acronym friendly as Dino's Night Out as it goes. Thank you all for coming on to this show. This is a great show that's all about this weekend and what you're going to go out there and do. Dino's Night Out is a place that you can listen to and start checking out what you want to do this weekend as far as friends, as family. Is there a special somebody that you're waiting for today, Friday afternoon, to ask to go get drinks with you? This is your show to help you plan that. So included in that is a lot of talking with people who are in the industry, talking with people who are singers, who are performers, who are servers, who are restaurant owners. That way you get a little bit of an insight that's in the industry as it goes. Later on in the show, we've got 2 hours today that we're putting together. But in this show, we've also going to be talking with Mike Horn from What's Cooking Today. You may have noticed here on WRMN, we swapped out the 1 o'clock hour for What's Cooking Today, a great wine and entertainment and food show that I've known Mike Horn for quite a number of years, and it was great to have him on board. And he decided to come on Dino's Night Out and talk a little bit about the new show and some of the restaurants that are there. Of course, I'm always going to default into other broadcasters and talking about broadcasting in that as well. We've also got Darian Sims, Silk himself, Darian America. He is a DJ in Chicago where he does private DJs. He's booked almost every single night to do karaoke. So we're going to talk a little bit about etiquette of karaoke and open mics and things like that. Can I keep sending drinks to the DJ Is that beneficial to everybody? So to discuss that at the 3 o'clock hour, we've got Darian Sims to talk to us on that. But let's get our special guest in. As always, I love being in the studio with this gentleman here. And that, of course, is our very own entertainment concierge for Out to Lunch. That is the amazing Matt McNeil. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be on here on the air again.
Dino's Night Out, man. Hey, you just got done doing your show, but
Yes.
Dino's Night Out kind of blends into what you do. You talk about restaurants, you talk about the entertainment side of things that are out there. And how does that kind of lead into planning the rest of your weekend, of hearing about like lunchtime places or hearing about just some really cool vibes that are happening around? Can people listen to your show and still get a plan for the weekend as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because there's always something going on. There's always something to do. And what I like to do is I like to mix and match a bit here, too. So when it comes to talking about different places, I like to hone in on the more exciting and energetic places to go to, and then also honing in on the little bit more calm, relaxing type of vibe, something a little bit more classy and upscale, something a little bit more bougie and stylish, and things that are just casual as well too. So I like to kind of mix them in here and there too. I also sometimes will do themes as well. So I did talk today because it's Friday. I usually think of like fish fry. I did talk a little bit about mentioning some fish fries, as well as even how to bake haddock as well. I found a pretty cool article that I was researching a bit. So kind of bringing those themes to the table as well.
That's really neat. I really like hearing about all the different places that are around the area. Because, I mean, everybody like defaults to like, oh, well, let's go someplace fancy. Okay, well, let's go to Red Lobster or the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
like you automatically default to a franchise that's out there. Before we get into like some of the goings on for this weekend, can you talk a little bit about the benefits of kind of diverting away from a franchise?
Yeah,
and going more towards a mom and pop side.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I do, or that I don't really talk a whole lot about franchises. I'll mention them here and there in passing, but I think it's important to recognize, like you said, mom and pop businesses, because you want to get the word out. You know, you have franchises that, for lack of a better term, already have made so much success. And I want to be able to promote businesses that are in the process of being successful and being even more successful than they already are as well too. And especially in the local communities as well too. I find that I love the idea of having like a kind of small town family feel to going to a place, a restaurant, even if it's a small restaurant as well too. I think that being a community, we help each other out, and I think that that's one way of doing it, is promoting these local small businesses as well too. So that's just kind of my take on it.
And they're different vibes, right? Like when you go to a Cracker Barrel, it's always a Cracker Barrel, no matter where you go. Now there's some familiarity to it. There's some comfort to that side of it. But maybe you be adventurous once, and now you found your new breakfast place. Like that's what I really enjoy about that community aspect that you were talking about. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about dueling pianos. We're going to talk about live music, both the karaoke kind and the cover band side. And people out there are still celebrating a little bit of Halloween. They call it the Halloween hangover.
I like it.
We'll see more of that when we come back with Dino's Night Out.
Brand to the next level? Image 360 South Elgin is your ultimate destination for custom signs and visual communication solutions. Looking to rebrand your office interior? Need striking vehicle wraps or decals for your fleet? Or perhaps you're in the market for a standout trade show display? At Image 360 South Elgin, they've got you covered. As your full-service custom sign and graphics partner, they deliver bold solutions and exceptional support. From outdoor signage to eye-catching store signs, indoor graphics to comprehensive branding solutions, they have the experience to elevate your brand's presence. Trust Image 360 to create a long-term partnership that gives your brand 360 degrees of exposure. Visit them at 506 Sundown Road in South Elgin. Image 360 South Elgin. Bold solutions, exceptional support.
Okay, antibodies, huddle up. We're a great team, but the flu is dominating. The good news is the human we're protecting just got his flu shots. That means all of us antibodies have strong new gear that will help us fight and defend against the flu. We must win so that our human can stay healthy and help protect the people he cares about most.
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect yourself and others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Take a historic walk through the home of America's greatest showman, Al Ringling. Located in Baraboo, Wisconsin, you can view the grand opulence on a guided tour, now hourly starting 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Weekday tours begin on the veranda and on the weekends in the tap room of the Al Ringling Brewery. Behind the mansion, kick back and try a flight of craft beers and dine at this family-friendly stop. Visit alringlingmansion.com for more information.
Welcome back to WRMN 1410, the talk of the town, the voice of the valley. Let me know which one you like, which one you prefer. Send it over to info@WRMN1410.com. I'm joined here with the entertainment concierge, Matt McNeil. Really appreciate you being here with me, buddy.
I appreciate you having me on.
You and Dean have this like nose for great places. Like turning around and going like, hey, I'm going to go to this breakfast place. And you stop me in my tracks and go, oh no, this one.
Yeah.
Or I'll go, hey, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. And you'll be like, oh, you're going down to the what's it? And I'm like, I didn't even know that place was around.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really neat that you guys are able to keep your finger on the pulse of the valley. Mm-hmm. And how do you do that? Where do you go? How do you look this stuff up?
To be honest with you, sometimes I'm like, I think of really what it is I take a lot of inspiration from things around me. Mm-hmm. So even if it's in the afternoon time and my show is over and I'll see some inspiration out there when I'm driving or something like that, or I'm walking, I'll be like, that's content for tomorrow. That's what I'll talk about. So it's kind of a little bit of that. Sometimes if I'm kind of little bit on crunch time, I'll just look up places to eat near me. Mm-hmm. And then I'll see, what's something that kind of looks interesting. Sometimes I'll also join together what the national day is to kind of relate to that as well.
Okay.
So I kind of build that.
How important are ratings to you? Like the Google ratings or Yelp or anything like that. How important are those when you're looking for a new place?
Those are very important, I would say, because Google ratings is not only easy to use for customers, but it's also a way to get the word out there that's also pretty easy as well too, especially if you're using Google. I mean, they're right there. You see them immediately. You see the stars, okay, this is how many people, this is what the rating is. I also would say too, some places might only have a couple ratings. Some places might have a ton of different ratings. So that's also something too. I would say I do like to try to get a mixture of both. Have places that don't have a lot of ratings and places that do have a lot of ratings as well too. Places that are a little bit more well known maybe in the area, and other places that are like, oh, I've never heard of that before. Because I'm telling you, most of the places I've never been to. So I'm also learning as well too along the way. I'm also looking through the menu and saying, that looks really good. You know, even if you don't plan on going to some of these places, maybe they might be out of your area. I do try to keep it local to the Fox River Valley area, but sometimes you can even find inspiration from menu offerings and be like, oh, you know what? I think that place that I usually do go to has that. I've never tried it before. That just reminded me, I want to give it a try. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, it sounds very adventurous.
It is very adventurous. You never know what you can find until you search it.
It's that journey, right? So part of that journey is having a map. So here on Dino's Night Out, we like to give you a little bit of that here. Karaoke night over at Carmina's Mexican Restaurant and Banquet. That's over on Randall Road. That's a karaoke night. Join a lively crowd for a fun night of karaoke at Carmina's. Belt out your favorite hits with friends in a festive, welcoming atmosphere, complete with delicious food and drinks. This is what they've got over there. They have a signature mango margarita, and try the tacos al pastor for a flavorful Mexican experience. Do you like Mexican food?
I do like Mexican food, yes. And I have to say about Carmina's Mexican Restaurant, because I did have the owner or the co-owner on not too long ago, I think it was maybe last week, talking a little bit about their tequila dinner that they had.
Oh.
It's real authentic Mexican cuisine that's been passed down throughout generations, which I love that too. I've talked about this so many times. When you have a reason why you do what you do, and you have a story behind it as well, that definitely adds so much of a foundation to your business or franchise. And I think that's a beautiful thing when you know what you want, you know why you do what you do. You know, you can sell the what, but when you sell the why, it's like, you know, it's something that people can relate to, find inspiration from as well too, and just kind of things like that.
Is that when they say we made it with love? Is that what they mean?
Absolutely, yes.
Something that I love to do is the dueling pianos. I love that type of show where it's just two guys or two gals or two people that are just phenomenal at playing piano and like the different covers and things like that. And they go back and forth with it. Dueling pianos over at Old Republic Kitchen and Bar. That is, for the karaoke night for Carmina's. That's tonight from 6 to 10. Sorry, I guess I should tell you the time as well, the way space-time works, I suppose. But let me tell you the space. That's the Old Republic Kitchen and Bar. They've got the dueling pianos. Tomorrow, November 9th at 8 p.m. is when it starts. Request your favorite songs and watch two pianists battle it out. Dueling Pianos at Old Republic is an interactive, high-energy experience that will have everyone singing and laughing. Like, it is an absolute great time with dueling pianos. Have you ever been to something like that?
I never have. I've been to Old Republic Kitchen and Bar many times. I've never actually... I don't think I've been to like a dueling piano show though. In
Norfolk, Virginia, when I was stationed in the Navy, we had, I think we called it was Crocodile Rocks is what they called it, and the whole stage every single time had two baby grands that were just facing each other. You ever see Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
So do you know when the ducks, the two famous ducks, Daffy and Donald, are playing piano next to each other?
I don't think I've seen that before.
Either way, when you get to it. So literally what you do is you request a song, and most of the time you request a song with a $5 bill. But hey, they've got to make their monies too. So you throw that in there. Never request Piano Man because you'll get just berated. But it's like a stand-up comedy or stand-up comic, two stand-up comics, but they use their pianos as props.
Okay.
So they'll play a song and they'll be like, "Oh, I bet you can't get that jingle out of your head for the rest of the night," and jokes like that
like
that
it.
are
That's
coming
cool.
on. Or you request a song and they'll make a parody of it, or somebody will interrupt in the middle of it. And it's like, why do you always make me play these Michael Bublé songs that are in here? There are other songs that have pianos in them. So it's a really fun comedy night. Old Republic is putting a dueling piano show on tomorrow night at 8 p.m. That's Old Republic Kitchen and Bar, 155 South Randall Road here in Elgin. Enjoy their Saturday night prime rib special at the same time, paired with an only $7 Goose Island pint. $7 pint? Hey, I'll go over there just for that. For a hearty meal and drink combination. I think that is a great place to go. Have you ever been over to the Village Squire? I see a lot of advertisements for them, but I haven't been over there yet.
Now, what location are you talking about?
So now this one is 480 Randall Road in South Elgin.
I have, yes.
And this one has live music by D-Rock. And that's D-E-E-R-O-K. D-Rock brings the best of 80s and 90s alternative rock to life in a solo acoustic set. Enjoy a relaxed yet engaging evening with timeless hits from the golden age of rock. See, this is what I used to do when I would go busking, is I would pick a cover band or something like that, and I would just grab my guitar and I'd go stand on a street with my case. I did that in Scotland and a couple other places when we were traveling with the ship. And every once in a while, you get a good gig at a coffee shop or something like that. We did that in Belgium for a little bit, and I spent so much time drinking that the people that were feeding us drinks bought us lunch too, because they were like, "Hey, you got to eat something. Your eagles are getting a little sloppy." So it is really neat to see the Village Squire put something like this on. And you said you've been to this location.
I've been to this location, I would say maybe 10 times or so. I've been to the Village Squire of West Dundee so many times since I was a very, very little kid. I like both of them. The vibes are the same and different. The Village Squire of South Elgin is a little bit bigger. It's a little bit more spacious. There's a little bit more light. But the food, of course, it's Kara's Family Restaurant. The food is amazing.
Tell me about that food, because I heard the Squire Burger is the way to go. Tell me about this burger. I love a good burger around the world. What does it got?
Well, let me tell you what I love to get at the Village Squire. My favorite burger is their bacon cheeseburger.
Okay.
Now, when you get the bacon cheeseburger, it's of course cooked just the way you like it always. The burger patty is a thick, juicy patty. It's not too much juice to where it's overbearing. It's not too dry though either. It's just right. The bacon is a nice thick Applewood smoked bacon. They do not put in, or what's the word I'm looking for? I'm horrible at finding the correct terms for things. They don't skimp out on the ingredients for the bacon. Some places it's like, you can tell it's like a thin slice, maybe like Oscar Mayer. But like this one, it's like, it's thick cut pieces of bacon, and it's on a nice smooth brioche bun, which I love.
Oh, that sounds delicious. You like brioche or maybe like a pretzel? Which one would you go for?
I like both equally.
Oh, does it depend on the burger?
Depends on the burger.
Oh, okay.
If it's a barbecue, if there's like a barbecue style of a burger, I do like the pretzel on there. Pretzel and barbecue, I like those together. So.
And you throw that bacon on anything that's out there. And before we hit the bottom of the hour for our news, I want to talk about the one I teased. That's the Halloween Hangover Bash at River Street Tavern. That is tonight, November 8th at 8 p.m. at the River Street Tavern in East Dundee. Relive Halloween with this fun Halloween hangover bash featuring costume contests, DJ performances, and drink specials all night. It's the last call for spooky fun this season. Like we talked about it even on Nightmare on Chicago, is like you get this Halloween costume or you get dolled up or you get everything and you get one night with it. And then it's like, okay, put it back. Well, I just poured, I don't know, $300 into this with makeup and accessories and everything else. I'm only going to use it for one night, or I've got to wait 4 years where I can finally maybe put it back into rotation.
Yeah.
So what do you think about having a Halloween hangover and having this last hurrah over at the River Street Tavern, East Dundee tonight?
I think it's great because not only does it kind of give a little bit of a kind of a nice ending to the Halloween season, but also fall as well, because we're starting to notice here as well already some of the more holiday decorations coming up too. And I know there are people out there that are like, really?
It's the last push, right?
So it's like, I think that when you have an event like this, it gives people, like you said, a last hurrah of Halloween. It gives people a last chance to be able to hold on to that.
Over at River Street Tavern tonight at 8 p.m., try their Zombie Punch cocktail, a rum and pineapple mix, and pair it with their loaded tater tots. Oh my gosh.
My goodness.
Oh, tater tots. We got to stop doing these shows hungry. More Dino's Night Out with Mike Horn from What's Cooking Today after the bottom of the hour news.
This is WRMN News. For a local focus, I'm Ben Boquist. Mark your calendars for Miracle on State Street, the dog adoption event, next weekend, November 16th. Save the date for Miracle on State Street, Saturday, November 16th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 501 West State Street in Geneva, Illinois. Are you ready to find your new best friend? Come out and meet lovable dogs looking for their forever homes. In addition to adoptions, they'll have photos with Santa Claus, food and refreshments, raffles with a chance to reimburse your adoption fee. You must adopt at the event and be present at 2:30 p.m. to win. And more surprises. Don't miss this fun-filled day to meet adorable pups and celebrate the season with us. Special thanks to Anderson Humane for helping with this wonderful event. For a local focus, I'm Ben Boquist.
Hello, I'm Dennis Green. A woman has been chosen to be the White House Chief of Staff for the first time. News Nation's Brooke Schaefer reports President-elect Trump is going with his campaign manager, Susie Wiles.
She's a longtime Florida-based Republican strategist. She has been credited with running, of course, a successful campaign, but as we mentioned, also for being someone extremely loyal to Trump, a trusted advisor for him, known for being able to manage Trump and some of his impulses. In some of our conversations with the campaign, some have even joked that Susie Wiles is the only person that Trump listens to. He even credited her in his victory speech this week.
Wiles is Trump's first cabinet pick since winning the election. Trump went through 4 chiefs of staff during his first term in office. For WRMN News, I'm Dennis Green.
WRMN News, produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
Get ready for an unforgettable Saturday night of music on WRMN AM 1410. Starting at 7 p.m., join Cord Stevens live from Studio 14 for the CD Showcase. Cord mixes together a blend of his favorite country music tunes because, as he says, a song remembers when. Then at 9 p.m., don't miss the Pure American Country Radio Show, hosted by the legendary Hall of Fame disc jockey and voice of the Grand Ole Opry, Bill Cody. Enjoy the best in classic country alongside today's real country hits, perfect for every fan of the genre. But the fun doesn't stop there. At 11 p.m., join country music enthusiast Jim Dandy and Mike Patrick for Branson Country USA. With a rotating roster of special guest stars from the vibrant Branson entertainment scene, you'll get a taste of the best talent in country music. So grab your boots and settle in for a night filled with heartwarming tunes and legendary sounds. Tune in every Saturday night from 7 p.m. to midnight on WRMN AM 1410, where the heart of country music comes alive.
In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast right here on WRMN, 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Noory with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Be Villa's 3 locations offer much more than their signature Italian beef. Try the Italian sausage, roasted chicken, and more. There's a big variety of delicious side dishes. Beef Villa uses quality ingredients from homemade recipes, and they purchase top-of-the-quality food products from their vendors to bring you the absolute best tasting of foods. Beef Villa's great service and quality are waiting for you, but you won't be waiting long because it's always hot and fresh. Visit beefvilla.com.
Welcome back to Dino's Night Out here on WRMN. My name is not Dino. Dino is out there having a great old time officiating a wedding. Congratulations out there. We love you, Dino. I feel honored being able to fill in for you now. Like I promised, we're talking with Mike Horn. I'm getting that all set up over here. But just as a reminder, check out What's Cooking Today. What's Cooking Today is the new show that we've got here on WRMN. What's Cooking Today has a bunch of different interviews with restaurants and vacation spots and chefs and entertainment, all kinds of these different people that are on there. It's a Monday through Friday show. So if you like the style that Dino's Night Out gives you, and you like the style that Out to Lunch with Matt McNeil gives you, well, I'll tell you, this is right up your alley as far as entertainment. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get us set up over here and, of course, introduce you, the WRMN listeners, to Mike Horn. I want to talk a little bit about a new program that has started here on WRMN. Of course, I'm talking about the What's Cooking Today radio show. What's Cooking Today is a nationally syndicated radio program that delves into topics such as food, wine, travel, health, and of course, entertainment. Hosted by Michael J. Horn, the show airs Monday through Friday here on WRMN from 1 to 2, but it's live on the CRN Digital Talk radio platform. Listeners can tune in to an engaging discussion, interviews with chefs, winemakers, travel experts, and celebrities, offering insights into the latest trends and tips in lifestyle and leisure. And as a treat for you, WRMN listeners, I have, of course, the host of What's Cooking Today, Michael J. Horn. Michael J. Horn is the founder and CEO of CRN Digital Talk Radio, the world's first original cable audio service. With over 30 years in broadcasting, he has been instrumental in launching the careers of numerous media personalities. In addition to his executive role, Horn hosts, of course, What's Cooking Today, bringing his extensive experience and passion for food, wine, and travel to audiences nationwide. Mike, thanks so much for being on the airwaves here in the Fox River Valley.
Sonar, it's an honor to be there. And I got to say, I've been called a lot of things in my life, but I don't know if I've ever been called a treat. So thank you for that.
That's it. Well, that's what you talk about, right? You talk about the treat of life, about how just you need to enjoy every single bite as it comes through. Is that's what really inspired you to bring on What's Cooking Today?
Well, yeah, a long career in radio, and I, started out as a disc jockey and played country music and oldies music, and then went into talk radio. And at one point, I was working at a radio station in Los Angeles, and the station was sold, and a lot of us got let go. And one of the guys was a chef, and I said, his name was Piero, Chef Piero. I said, Chef, why don't you come over here to CRN? We were starting our network, crntalk.com at the time, and it was just on cable TV. It was an audio service that you had on the channels on cable TV. That's all it was at the time. And so we started doing a morning show, and he was into food and wine. And, over the years, Chef Piero retired, and we continued with the show. the country's gotten sort of, especially lately, pulled apart, left and right arguments and a lot of talk radio, and there's a lot of great people doing talk radio issues and answers and news. We decided to concentrate on news, wine, travel, health, wealth, and entertainment. And so we do everything but, politics and that sort of thing. And I think it invites everybody, no matter what your background is and what you like. Hopefully you pick something up here on the show.
There it is. And I used to actually run Chef's Show as well when I was working with Ron Kreider. And
there you go. You go back, Sonar. I love it, man. That's great.
And I'll tell you, that guy, if you're a treat, that guy was a delight.
He was.
Because I'll tell you, the vibe of let's not get into what's bad in the world. Let's enjoy what's in front of us now. I think that is really what your show carries on.
Yeah, he taught me about olive oil, food, wine, all the great wines he had. And he had a heavy Italian accent, right, Chef Piero? And he'd do a recipe. He'd go, take 2 eggs, set aside. Take 2 avocados, set aside. Get the egg, get the avocado, mix them all together, set aside.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. He talked about going to a restaurant once in Northern California, and he asked the guy if he could see a wine list. And the guy goes, oh, we have a wine list. We have 2 wines. We have red and we have white. He was full of stories. I mean, I miss that guy. He was one of the great Chef Piero Biondi. Oh, boy.
Absolutely.
Had a restaurant right across from NBC in Burbank, and Johnny Carson and those guys would come into his restaurant and have dinner.
And that's amazing, the stories that you share around the table, too. And how does that kind of, I guess, vibe is the word that everybody's using nowadays. How is that restaurant type of high lifestyle translate into your show?
Well, the restaurant business has been kind of hit hard with inflation and all the problems, and, they raise the wages, and so these poor restaurant owners have to keep raising rates on their food because they got to make enough money to cover their costs, and then we as consumers go in and we go, what's going on here? You just raised the rate, a month ago, it's up again. So the restaurant business is kind of tough, but if you've got a great restaurant and you got great food, people are going to show up, and it's that connection, and I liken it to the Midwest. Being on here at WRMN with you guys at 1410 is like coming home. Now, I'm a native Californian, but my parents were from Chicagoland area. My mom was from Fox River Grove, right there near Elgin. My dad was from Chicago. They met, got married, and I used to go back every year to my uncle's farm, and he was in Barrington. And he rented a lot of land because, Barrington's got all those great estates there, but the people that bought them, hey, we'd like a little farmland around here. So he would farm the open land as it was sold off, and he'd farm in Fox River Grove and Barrington. He still has a farm, Uncle George with his son Mike, and they farm in Sharon, Wisconsin, but they still drive across the state line, if that's still allowed. I don't know. But they drive across and still farm in areas of Illinois. So, my dad was a lifelong Cub fan until I finally convinced him to start rooting for the Dodgers. And we had Robert Conrad, the actor, on our show, on our CRN network for many years, up until when he passed away. He was from the south side of Chicago. This guy was a diehard White Sox fan, and his dad was a former baseball player. So I'm connected there to the Midwest. I love being on this radio station, I'll tell you that.
How has your Midwest background helped you in nationally syndication in the network side of it? Like everybody's envious of the Mike Rowe, Ohio nondescript dialect that's there. And how has kind of having that radio voice from the Midwest kind of helped you in hosting some great shows?
Well, first off, it is a radio voice from the Midwest. I'm a native Californian, but because my parents were from the Midwest, people say, well, where are you from? You got you got a Midwest, you got a Chicago accent. So it's like, I don't know I'm doing it, but I got a Chicago accent. And let me say this. As a kid, starting at age 7, going back to my uncle's farm and every summer going back, the Midwest is an area that the rest of the country is just not aware of, and the Midwest is where everything happens. You got the coastal people that are full of themselves. I don't want to upset people that we are on the radio stations are, but the Midwest, a lot of people leave their doors open, maybe not so much anymore, but they used to, and they're good neighbors, and they're talking to you. You meet somebody from the Midwest, you're in a conversation immediately talking about what you do. So I think, in answer to your question, it helps you connect with people because there's no agenda when you're a person from the Midwest. You're kind of the breadbasket of country. It's where, and people don't realize that's where the food comes from. That's where all these things happen. I mean, yeah, Chicago's a busy area and a city, and they got all that stuff going. But you get out in the suburbs, you're living kind of the good life. Although I will admit the winters are a little harsher than they are here in Southern California.
That's very true. So you've got the good food, you've got the good company. So now you pair that with the good entertainment. What is the trend that's going on right now? Is it nightclubs? Is it dance clubs? Is it more of just enjoying a art piece? What's the new trend for how everybody is leaning on their entertainment?
Well, I think it's gotten back to traditional. I'm sort of a traditionalist with that Midwest kind of background. I think it's movies took a hit a lot of things took a hit during COVID, so people don't go out. But I like to go to a movie theater now and watch a good film and see something. TV is big now with streaming. I think it's getting back a little bit to radio. We had great radio, and again with the Midwest. I found out as a kid, my uncle would turn on the radio station from Chicago. I don't want to say any other name, but I think it was like WGN. And he'd hear the local farm report, and he'd sit there, and we'd have to quiet down at lunch and listen to whatever the grains were going for and all that as a farmer. That's still around in the Midwest. People really benefit from their radio. And when you meet a radio personality, and since we're talking Chicago and Elgin, in the Midwest, you're more of a celebrity than you are in Southern California. They got movie stars and all the TV shows and all that. So radio takes a back seat. In the Midwest, it really is front and center. So I hope that radio, especially what we're doing here at 1410, bringing it back to the local people is where it's at. You had radio always representing the local people. Then there was a lot of syndicated programming, and it's good and still is, but it doesn't necessarily hit local. Then there was podcasting, and we got to all do podcasting. And now we go back to it, and it's like, not podcasting.
Oh, absolutely. It was this big shift of the next shiny thing is the way I kind of look at it. And I think podcasting became the Wild West because we weren't necessarily sure how this medium was going to fall out. Like, we had people that had like podcasts that were 3-4 hours long and couldn't figure out why nobody was listening to it. And it's like, well, in radio, you can get away with that because you've built up a repetition. You've almost have a Pavlovian effect on your audience because you start at the same time, end at the same time. You can get away with 4 hours a day. You can't get away with 4 hours a day on the podcasting side. And I think if podcasting had a bit more guidance from traditional terrestrial radio, we'd finally be at what we are now, where it's still segmented out. You try to keep everything maybe in that 15-20 minute mark before you hit over. And honestly, podcasting has fallen into the radio rhythm of, okay, here's 15 minutes or 10 minutes on something. We're going to play a commercial, and we're going to give you another 10 minutes on something. Is that kind of how you've spread out your information on what's cooking today so that you can cover all of these amazing bases?
Well, you get, and radio is all about stories. I mean, you can't get away from when you interview somebody, you want to get their story. You got a news thing, you want to get the story. Nothing tells a story better than radio when you talking about things that are on the air. For example, we had a story today on What's Cooking today on our weekend edition about a slice of wedding cake that was found under a bed from 1947, from the wedding of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. Apparently, there was a worker that the Queen, or in that case, Princess Elizabeth, was thanking, and she left a boxed-up piece of cake. This woman, Marion Polson, put it in a suitcase, left it under a bed, and some guy found it, and it auctioned off for $2,800.
Wow.
A 77-year-old piece of wedding cake. Now, I don't know if you want to try it. I certainly don't. But that's kind of interesting stuff when you start bringing these stories up. All of a sudden, people hear it, and they want to talk about that story. And it's like those stories come out, and that's what makes radio and podcasting great. Now, podcasting, you're right about the length because people download it. They're traveling in the car. They want to listen to it. The radio has a little more time, but you segment the radio station so you can come in and maybe if you miss a segment or you get out of the car and you got to go to work, you can still go back and get the podcast from whatever radio show you were listening to and get caught up and listen to what's going on. And I think that's kind of the key. You got to have everything together. Joe Rogan is great. Have I ever listened to him? I'm sorry to say this, but I haven't. I just don't have time to download and listen to podcasts. I jump in the car, I'm listening to local radio as I drive around. But that's not saying that if I hear something or he has a guest on that I want to listen to, I wouldn't download and listen to that podcast. But it's all a mix. It's kind of like podcasting is like your DVR. You can go ahead and listen to it when you want to.
Yeah, it's that audio on demand that's there. And what I can never get across some of the older guard was what happens after your radio show is done. And they would like, well, you record it and you put it out on a tape or you send it on or you post it on the internet. Yeah, that's a podcast.
That's right.
I don't know where that disconnect's coming through. We're talking with Michael J. Horn, the founder and CEO of CRN Digital Talk Radio. Mike, do you go by Michael J. Horn often, or just when you were on the air?
I go by Michael J. Horn. I go by Michael Horn or Mike Horn. Usually I leave the J out, but you know, Donald J. Trump is the president, so maybe I should throw a J in there. I don't know. Some people will love it. 50% will love it, 50% will hate it. So whatever you want to use.
Yeah, you too, and Homer J. Simpson as well. We'll throw them all
correct.
in.
Even better. There you go.
What's Cooking Today is a nationally syndicated radio program that delves into topics such as food, wine, travel, health, and entertainment. I did hear you give a sport or two. So like you said, really it's a lifestyle and kind of it feels more of a casual conversation that you can kind of listen to or keep on in the background, where it's not necessarily I've got to bring my homework into your show. It's a lot of great listening things, and you'll get that information. Like even today, you were talking about what was it? The 4 types of maple syrup grades. I didn't even know there were different grades of it. So it's really cool.
I'm telling you, it's like who knew?
That's
and then they didn't even use it and talk about it as far as what type do you put on your pancakes. It was all being used for whatever you think you wanted to have. It's amazing what you have on these stories that come up your way, and the 4 types I think were golden, amber, dark, and very dark. So the golden was light in color and great for breakfast dishes. So I'm guessing that's the one you want to put on your pancakes. The amber was used for more savory recipes and in barbecue sauces, and then the dark was more intense and thicker, so you could use it for a glaze for meats. And the very dark was most robust in flavor, and you could mix it in with things like baked beans and monkey bread and glazed chicken and that kind of stuff. So who knew? I always thought there was just one type, or when you go to IHOP, it's blueberry or whatever or maple. That's what I think.
That's true. And let's talk a little bit about that before I let you go on this, because what I really have I like to put things in that analytical side of things. So when you go out to eat, it's about the food and the entertainment, and I guess the company, who you're going with. But I doubt you would take somebody you didn't really like to go out and have a good time, unless you're back in the dating scene again, right?
Yeah, you never can tell. Could be dating scene, could be some kind of business meeting. You never can tell.
That's true.
But it's an experience that the food's got to be good. The atmosphere has to be fun, whether it's just a sports bar or something, or a quiet evening if you want to get away and chat or whatever. That's very important. And one of the things that people forget is the service. If you come into a restaurant, and let's say you've come there a few times, and the waiter remembers you, and you walk in there, it could be with a date, could be with a family member, could be, with a business meeting, and the guy says, "Mr. Horn, welcome back." First off, it makes you feel like $1 million. Secondly, whoever you're with, especially if they've never been there, go like, "Well, who is this guy? He must really know this place." And that's kind of the key. The wait staff can make it or break it for you sometimes. That's kind of fun. Now, I'm not talking about going for a casual, dinner at McDonald's or whatever. They're not going to do it there. But you never can tell. If you're there every day for lunch, they may say, "Hey, how you doing, Michael J?" And there you go. You got yourself somebody that knows you.
Have a good bartender and have a good barber that knows your name, I think is
that's right.
The way to go.
That's right.
There.
The Cheers bar, but that's on the East Coast. I'll tell you one other thing I love about the Midwest. Most people have a radio in their house. I think the radio industry has just dropped the ball on having a radio. As a kid growing up and going back to my uncle's farm, there was always a radio on. At my house, there was always a radio on. Now, I will admit, I got about 30 radios here, and I'm probably using Amazon Echo and Google Home and streaming some things so I can listen to WRMN right there as live as it comes through, which is fun. It's like shortwave radio. But when you get into the natural disasters, as you have in the Midwest, or we had in North Carolina, whatever, what's the word that came out of North Carolina after Hurricane Helene? They said, "Hey, well, we wish you would have had a radio to get the word out." And some people have the crank radio. For God's sakes, find a portable radio. That's another problem. Where do you buy a radio these days? You got to, order them from a website or something to get it. But get a battery-powered radio so you got somebody to talk to, and have a plug-in model. So if the power's on, you can listen to something. And then now the car radios are trying to take AM radio out of car radios. Give me a break. Let's let everything stay the way it is and grow it.
And you can't get rid of the spectrum. That's the thing I always say with the argument. They're like, "Oh, well, AM radio's going away." Okay, well, what are you going to do with AM radio spectrum other than AM radio? Like, all you're going to do is put a different AM radio side of it. It's not fast enough to be data. It's perfect for voice. Like, there's no other reason to use the spectrum for it. Thank you very much for being on today.
I love you, brother. Thank you for having me on, and thanks for anything we can do for your listeners. Just let them know to go to crntalk.com and click on the What's Cooking show and send me an email, and we'll take care of them, because I love being in Elgin and on the Midwest.
What do you got coming up for the holidays?
Going to be at home. We'll be getting a lot of chefs on. We'll be talking about a lot of different things. We've got, it's Vince Ferragamo on, who's a former Green Bay Packer quarterback and Ram quarterback, and he played for Buffalo. He's starting to do a show now, and he's being brought to you by Harmony Cheese out of Green Bay. So we're trying to unify the entire Midwest in there and get some good things out. So we'll be talking cheese and a few other things, too.
That's awesome. Hey, have a great weekend, Mike. It was great talking to you, buddy. I'm sure I'll talk to you sometime next week.
Thank you, Sonar. I love you guys.
There it is. Mike Horn, host of What's Cooking Today on CRN. Go to crntalk.com to find out all of the great information of what Mike does on the day-to-day and gets people's voices out there. Hey, thanks, everybody. Man, that was a great interview with Mike Horn. And that's the type of conversation and the type of things that we are trying to do here at WRMN. We want to make sure that we can get not only just the information that's out there news-wise, but also the information out there lifestyle and entertainment-wise. Not everything has to be political in the world. Not everything has to be the gloom and doom of the news. Sometimes just talking about 4 different types of syrups that are out there in the world is something that is a conversation that you can have without too much emotion behind it. Talking about your favorite things. I like this cheese over that cheese. I've never had anybody get into a fist fight or have to say nobody's allowed to talk about this charcuterie board anymore. That's out there. So thanks for listening to Dino's Night Out here on WRMN. We've got another hour of Dino's Night Out coming up for you. And with this hour that's coming up, we are going to be talking with somebody directly from the industry to talk about the etiquette of somebody who's running a karaoke or somebody who's running a DJ booth. Should I write it on a piece of paper and give it to you and say, hey, play this next song? Should I write it on a $20 bill? What's the etiquette for it? Should we be sending drinks over to the DJ booth, or would they rather have just a good handshake and a conversation? We'll learn more here on Dino's Night Out on WRMN 1410, the talk of the town, the voice of the valley, your entertainment information.
Then you need American Outdoors Radio. Host John Cruz speaks your language, whether it's about the best lures, tracking game, or that one buddy who always forgets to bring the beer. John's got the tips to sharpen your aim, the hacks to pack lighter, and the stories to keep you entertained. Again, that's American Outdoor Radio with John Cruz. Saturdays at 7 a.m. on WRMN 1410. Or stream it at WRMN1410.com. Get ready to outfish, outhunt, and outcamp them all on American Outdoor Radio with John Cruz.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 3 o'clock.
With your 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Cruden. Brought to you by Linzette's. DuPage County inviting residents to participate in shaping traffic safety strategies. The Safety Action Plan Open House is scheduled for November 14th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Bensonville Community Public Library, and it's open to anyone who would like to attend and share their voice. The Elgin City Council has received the city's proposed $391.3 million budget, which outlines plans for a 4.5% hike in revenue and a 1.3% cut in expenditures compared to last year. Amid these changes, the city aims to hire 9 firefighters to operate the proposed 6th ambulance. Naperville Park District releasing its proposed $53.2 million budget for 2025. The financial blueprint poised for public scrutiny online ahead of the final decision in December. The budget earmarks $13.4 million for capital projects, enhancing numerous public parks, as well as the Columbia Commons and Kroller Park. With your 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Cruden.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single-line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
The lightest, fluffiest pancakes are calling your name at JoJo's Diner, 1935 West Gulf Road in Schaumburg. JoJo's has a huge breakfast menu featuring skillets, eggs Benedict, and so much more. Don't stop at breakfast. JoJo's also offers great burgers, sandwiches, and shakes. And for mouth-watering prime rib, try JoJo's for dinner. They have such a versatile menu. JoJo's Diner is family-owned and operated, and it's one of Schaumburg's best-kept secrets. Visit jojosdiner.com today.
Twins Gyros, located at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights, serves traditional gyros as well as its award-winning chicken gyros on a pita. Twin Gyros has a diverse menu that includes barbecue ribs, chicken dinners, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, cheeseburgers, and Vienna beef hot dogs that have recently been inducted into the Vienna Beef Hot Dog Hall of Fame. Check out the full menu at twinsgyros.com. That's Twins Gyros at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights, Illinois. This is WRMN News.
I'm Marky B reporting. Elgin's general property tax levy is expected to stay flat for an 11th consecutive year, but residents could pay more for water and sewer services in 2025 to fund infrastructure improvements. City Manager Rick Kozel presented an overview of the proposed 2025 budget and three-year financial plan to Elgin City Council members on Wednesday. Upgrades and additions to the Hemmons Cultural Center and Elgin Sports Complex, as well as the revitalization of DuPage Court, will be completed in 2025. The proposed budget includes improvements for Wing Park and funding for design and engineering work to replace the Kimball Street and Chicago Street bridges. Construction is slated to take place from 2026 to 28 on Kimball and 28 to 30 on Chicago Street. The cost to replace both bridges is expected to be about $41 million, but the city hopes to obtain grants that could cover roughly 80% of that price tag. Residents could see an increase in water and sewer rates to pay for a number of capital improvements. If approved, water rates will increase by 9.5% and sewer rates by 4% next year. And in Rosemont, the Target reopened Thursday about 3 weeks after a fire that's been labeled as arson by authorities. Fencing was installed around the store's entrance while crews worked for weeks to clean up and restock the big box, which lost at least $1.5 million worth of merchandise in the blaze. Now, Denny Ellis, of 56 years old of Nevada, was charged with arson, aggravated arson, on the 20th of October, a day after his vehicle was spotted through the use of license plate reading cameras in Elk Grove Village. He remains in custody following an initial court appearance. He is due back in court November 15th. I'm Marky B. This is the Talk of the Town.
Produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
Political party poopers got you down? Shake it off and join me, Dennis Sonar Green, every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. on WRMN for A Political Talk Show, where we cut through the doom and gloom with a focus on America first, constitutional values, and a populist perspective that puts you, the citizen, at the center of the conversation. At WRMN, the talk of the town, we're not afraid to challenge the status quo and bring you the straight talk you need. Whether you're frustrated with the political establishment or looking for a clear, some nonsense analysis, this show has you covered. Tune in. Let's take on the issues together with a fresh, unfiltered approach. Catch us every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. on WRMN, A Political Talk Show. WRMN, the talk of the town. Welcome back to Dino's Night Out. Dino's Night Out here on WRMN. I am not Dino. I'm filling in for him. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. It is an honor to cover Dino's Night Out for you. This is your late night entertainment planning. Now, people are like, well, wait a minute. Why are we talking about late night things here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Well, when do you daydream about what you're doing over the weekend? We want to make sure that we can help you daydream about a great weekend with a great group of people, or maybe there's that special someone out there that you want to take out. We want to make sure that we give you those options and that news of what's happening. The other thing that we like to do here on Dino's Night Out, or what Dean likes to do on Dino's Night Out, is he wants to make sure that you don't look like a fool. You don't go out there with all of this bad etiquette for clubs. Like there's certain etiquette that you got to go to. Like, yeah, I can go to a sports bar in a hoodie and some jeans and have a burger and a great time yelling at the screen of whatever sports ball is on
at the time. But maybe you want to go to a place that requires a jacket. Maybe you are out at a noisy club and there's different ways to talk to a bartender in that type of fashion. Stick around for more Dino's Night Out as the year and everything else keeps going on, and we'll start to give you some of those etiquette advices that's out there. And what better place to get that etiquette advice from except for the people that are working currently? And of course, we've got our very own friend, D. Silk Sims, on with us now. Thank you, sir, for being here. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure, my friend.
D. Silk Sims is a DJ, a karaoke guru that's out there. I'll tell you, this man has rocked more faces than Bon Jovi, I think. He says he rocked 1 million faces and all of that, but I'll tell you, buddy, I think you've rocked maybe 2-3 million faces.
I would probably agree, man. You know, when I sit back and think about how I even came into doing karaoke, then, you know, I purchased all the equipment and I learned how to use it all. And, you know, of course, I'm a music guy. I play piano by trade. I've produced independent music. I'm a singer by trade. But when I see people come up there and they're terrified. I mean, everybody's afraid of public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So they get up, they get a mic in their hand and they're looking at the room and the eyes get big like saucers and you can see the nervousness in them. And then when they try to sing a little bit, it comes through their voice. And, you know, I'm kind of that guy that I'll say, hey, man, just be cool. Just ride with it. It's one time in life. And that's where my pleasure comes from. When I see somebody who's never done karaoke before and they actually survive it, they give me back the mic, oh my God, I did it. Then they get addicted. Then they keep coming. And they keep coming. I'm like, okay, I got one. So we've done the job right now. I love that part of the business.
They get that rush. They get that performance adrenaline afterwards because, I mean, you're a media man in general. That rush after you're done putting something great together, recording something, capturing something, or having that party, like you're going home, you're wrapping up your cables and you're shutting it down for the night. Your ears are slightly ringing because of how awesomely loud and just an amazing party going on, and you get this rush of, oh man, I made a couple people happy tonight. Like that's the ultimate goal that's in there. So how do we keep you happy as the audience? So now, do I keep sending shots? Do I order you a hamburger? Wow. Do I do things like that? Or is it more about necessarily like the tip jar and the interaction?
Wow, that is an incredible question. And I swear, if I had patrons like yourself, Sonar, my life would probably be better, because I remember you stating before we even started talking that we're talking etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
The karaoke etiquette. Oh, my God. So you got to look at karaoke like going to a grocery store. Okay. When you get in line, you know, you get behind that lady, and I hate to be like totally just out in left field, but you know, when the link card turns over the first of the month, you get that grandmother that's going to get about 5 carts load of food and groceries. She got the kids running around, and then you get behind her, and all you got is a gallon of milk.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wait for her to pay for everything, unless she says, "Oh, young man, I see you only have one item. You can go ahead of me." And, you know, that's a good etiquette in a grocery store. You're in line, the lady's got 1,000 things in her cart. You got one item. So she should let you go past, but she doesn't have to. Same thing with karaoke. Music goes 1 second at a time. Just like you yourself and myself, we're talking right now, and, of course, we're watching the clock because we got to pay attention and we want to pay our advertisers and stuff. But it's still 1 second at a time. So when a person submits their song to me, I used to use song slips. Now I use a sign-in sheet. I was trying to go to the QR code so they can literally order their songs from their seats, and that became a whole blitzkrieg of nonsense.
Because then you need somebody for IT to go out there.
yeah, and they just trying to use their phone. And when am I coming? When is that my turn? Your turn is when I call you. But these people been singing all night. I just got here. Well, why am I crucifying them? Because they came on time to partake in the venue, and you stroll in at 12:45 and the place closes at 1, and you think you're supposed to rush to the stage, walk straight past everybody, get your turn, and enter in the room until you're done.
Is that part of it, Darian? Is that part of the karaoke etiquette of, like, if we're going to decide to go out for karaoke, right? I'm not just talking about fly by night. I see a karaoke sign in a window. I'm saying, like, look, I'm going to go out and have a good time. What is the time to show up? Do I show up maybe like an hour after it starts? Do I show up an hour before to get kind of lubricated a little bit? What's the plan for the best karaoke night out?
That is a great question. And see, it depends on you as the karaoke connoisseur. If you're a person that really enjoys singing and you want to partake in karaoke, see, karaoke music is you have the bass track, the backing vocals, and then you do the lead. And then they may do the hook for you, whatever. But it depends on what you want to do. Now, if you really want to be entertaining all night and you want to sing all night, you got to get there before the start. I would say, like, I start at 9 o'clock. So if you want to be on my microphone all night and you're going to be in the rotation, I would say get there by 8:30, 8:45. You can start lubricating yourself up. You can start getting ready. And then, okay, so now you're there and you know you're going to get a few songs in because people like to come late. If you come after an hour, especially where I'm at, you're probably not going to sing because my places stay packed. So get there before I said, don't meet me there, beat me there. If you beat me, it's a good chance you're going to sing.
Okay, and then so back to the etiquette and waiting and line aspect of it. You get there early. It's first come first serve, obviously, as it goes. So how far back do you get the list going? Because you know that list stacks up. So like, at what point am I at the point of like, okay, karaoke's already been going on for about 3-4 hours over at that place. I'm not even gonna try to get in line. Maybe I just want to go over there and listen. But at what point are you like, look, I shouldn't even be looking at the book?
Okay. Well, something that I try to do different. The pandemic really put a lot of stuff on us. You know, we couldn't touch microphones, we couldn't touch books and all that. So my books basically became obsolete. So you don't have to worry about looking through a book. I probably got every karaoke song that's out there. And if I don't, there's a wonderful tool called YouTube, and I do have the internet. So say you say you want to sing your favorite song, My Funny Valentine, Frank Sinatra or Chaka Khan's version. Okay, whichever one you want. You let me know. I jump on the internet. If I don't have it, I pull it up, and I call you when I'm ready for you. So it's like you don't have to worry about looking through books. I'm sure I can find the version of a song that you like. Now, if you're a particular karaoke singer that only wants it to sound a certain way and you can only sing with the Sound Choice version or Chartbuster version, then
or I guess a different key. Yeah, or a different key. Like there's a lot of people out there that are like, look, can you play this song, but I need you to drop it a step and a half.
Absolutely.
Like,
I can do that.
Oh, that's great. Because there's a lot of people that like to sing and they sing to the radio and they don't know sometimes that they're actually singing harmony to the radio instead of like whatever the melody is. So, and then I'm in that same boat that I think you are in, that there's a song out there for everybody. There's something in that range, even if you pull up Tequila and just play that one. That's your
karaoke song ever.
But even if you do that, there's a song out there for everybody. Do you let people know when things might be outside their range or difficult? Do you turn around and be like, hey, maybe we stick to nursery rhymes next time you come over here?
Man, I wish. I mean, honestly, with me, if I got an open mic and you can sing it, then knock yourself out. I mean, there's certain songs that I don't allow. I mean, it depends on where I'm at in the location. And there's a couple of gang banging songs that have become recent that people like. I don't do those because I am not a gang banger. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So if you're going to do a song that's going to stir the room up, depending on what the song is. I won't play them. But something that I've started to do more than other karaoke DJs, and this is actually a faux pas against karaoke DJs, I let people sing over the song. If they're going to be that adamant about it, and that's, again, the etiquette, you got to play the way I know it. I only know the way I sound. Okay, well, fine. Sing over the top of the song. You don't need the words. I mean, obviously, you sing this in the bathroom when you're showering or whatever, or you sing it when you're driving in your car. So just sing it. And if not, and you don't like how you sound, just stop singing and let the singer do it for you. Just stand over the mic.
Mouth it out or something like that. Now you've changed it. Now you've changed it from karaoke to a air guitar competition.
Putting on the hits.
There you are. The mouth that you can put out. I mean, it worked for Ashley Simpson, and it's rumored to still be working with Taylor Swift. That's just a rumor, Swifties. That's just a rumor.
Yeah,
please,
we don't want no problem for the Swifties.
Don't come after me. It's just a rumor. It's just I heard it once. But how is it like to change so much? Where has changed too much? Honestly, like I love how you do the customization, have it your way like Burger King, but at a certain point, like I'm not asking for like turkey meat and things like that at a Burger King. Like at what point in your process are you like, look, I appreciate your efforts, I love your passion about it, but like I didn't bring a unicycle. Like at what point do you throw up that barrier?
You know, I used to fight it. I mean, I was a true traditionalist for karaoke. If it was not on karaoke, I was not going to try to find it. If I did look for it, I couldn't find it. It's not out there, so be it. But I would say maybe the impatience of the youth of the world, meaning the millennials live differently. They march to the beat of their own drum. They don't want to cooperate. Now I'm getting in trouble with the millennials. And it's not that I'm saying anything bad about the millennials. I'm a true singer. You know, and everybody says, you're not supposed to be able to sing to do karaoke. Well, you got to practice. You know, I'm not going to get an opportunity to stand in front at the United Center on a stage and sing anytime soon. So I come to the lounge and I sing out there. It's all about how you want to deliver it. I like the traditional music. I like if a person can't sing, but they're still trying to stay with the song. You let the room help you out and all that. It makes it fun. But that's not what they're doing today. And at this point, it's like, okay, I want to have the convenience of doing the job. But now it's getting to the point where don't nobody want to wait, and they are being very obnoxious with it. So you got to do things to kind of turn their minds in different directions and entertain them and get their mind off of the karaoke at the moment. Because they're wanting to sing it, and it's not because they want to do it because they're good at it or that they're trying to impress somebody. They just want to be on the microphone being loud and obnoxious and stupid.
The word of the episode, I think, is vibe. How do you create that vibe, right? Because that's your job as karaoke or DJ or something like that. How do you, first off, prevent people from destroying that vibe? And secondly, how do you recover?
Well, I can say that much. I'm a personality. I mean, I'm a big personality. When I walk in the room, I feel like I'm Barack Obama. I'm soaking up all the air in the room, and I push everybody to the wall like, this guy's amazing. So with that type of energy, and I feel that way, it's just in my mind. I don't know if they're really thinking that. But because inside of my mind, I'm the show. And I know the best way to get anything done is to kill them with kindness. So I've adapted the point of I will compliment the heck out of you. I am going to compliment you, build you up, make you feel good, and I do that to each and every person I come in contact with. So if you're always bringing that positivity and you bring that energy, and I use great adjectives. I mean, you know, somebody say, how you doing? It's not, I'm just okay. No, it's how you doing? I'm fantastic. I'm incredible. Use adjectives to boost up the person's energy as they talking to you. So if somebody walk up and they looking all mealy mouth, man, what's up? How you doing? I'm incredible, my friend. How are you? Incredible. Man, really? Yeah. So that's the energy. And when I talk to people, that's what I push. And then you got to have a bit of a swag with it too. So that's like, I'm not conceited. I tell people this all the time. They say, you got arrogant something. No, I'm not. I'm not conceited. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that I am the best. I ain't saying I'm better than you. I'm the best, and I'm convinced. That's it.
Yeah,
so
prove me otherwise, right?
What kind of vibe you got? I'm good.
Yeah, prove me otherwise. Like
exactly.
So you're going to close out the Falcon Inn tonight over there in Hyde Park, right there off of the lake.
Yes, sir.
That's where you can. Is that where you usually are? We can find you there some nights.
Yep, I have 3 locations that I service. Thursday nights, I'm at City Life Lounge. That's 712 East 83rd Street, right off of Cottage Grove. And then I do the Falcon Inn in Hyde Park tonight, 1605 East 53rd Street. It's down the street from the Promontory, if you're familiar with the area. But if you're not, that's okay. That address will do fine. And then I take care of Q's Lounge / the Black Fire Brigade on 84th and Kedzie. I do them on Sundays. And I like that place because it's long story short, it's a cop bar and a fireman's bar. So there's no drama in there. You're going to come in there, have a good time. But also, they do a lot of good things with the community. The last party I did there, Tony Preckwinkle was the guest of honor. So they got a lot of political pull and a lot of good, and it's a good time, man. Just being adults, having fun, adult fun, and no craziness. So.
And now you have set up your own brick and mortar out there. So you now have your own. Tell me a little bit about what you plan on doing with your business.
Yes, sir. Well, we had some wonderful times being way down the dial on the AM side. And I still want to be in this industry. So I decided to start my own. I've opened 90.9, the American Silk Radio Network, awesome 84, awesome 90.9. I just changed the numbers on it. But we are on the south side of Chicago, and I am basing it. Radio was started for advertising. A lot of people don't realize that. They don't remember that. So I'm wanting to bring the advertising piece back to the little man with entertainment mixed in. So, I'll have a lot of commercials on there, but I wouldn't say they're going to be like the standard radio commercials where you're just sitting there and, 6 minutes is going to drone on. No, we're doing difference with some advertising, and we're going to have a home base. So we're going to be there starting with the 90, I keep saying the wrong number, 90.9, awesome 90.9, and the American Silk Radio Network is going to be great. There's no such thing as bad attention. So if you're looking for attention, you're looking for advertising, come to the Wade Langley Advertising Agency, the American Silk Radio Network, and we will give you what you need. And you'll have fun in the process, too.
So while I'm going to send you over the drink, right, over at the bar, what are we sending you?
Anybody knows me, they know I drink the same thing everywhere I go. Hennessy Straight, Waterback, Miller Lite.
Oh, there you go. And so everybody, to show appreciation, should just do that, right? We should just, if we like our karaoke DJ, or if we like the person that's running the sound and the playlist out there, that's what we should do to show our appreciation. Or is there something else that you guys like?
Well, I can't speak for everybody, but you have to be careful with that concept because, again, when alcohol in the bar, when somebody sends you a drink, you got to pay them homage and, hey, thank you. But for my birthday, everybody wanted to send me a drink. Look, I don't want alcohol poison, okay? A Hennessy Straight usually costs like $8. So if you really want to show appreciation, hey, man, go get yourself a drink. You can drop $8 in my tip jar. That will be fine because I don't like trying to consume gallons of Hennessy because I can't. So a tip will be fine. You can send a beer, send a drink, whatever. But, you had to be careful, especially if I was coming way out to where you are. I don't want to be on the expressway like that. So no drinking and driving, ladies and gentlemen. But
no,
you can't
definitely not.
Drink, we do support that. But he does have a tip jar. I do.
Just like the bartender, do you ever just cut them off? You're like, no, you've had enough karaoke for tonight.
Ooh, so now you really, how much time you got, man?
I got a couple more minutes. Go ahead, buddy.
I have to, man, because when you're sitting there and the night can be drawn, because everybody likes to sing slow songs anyway. I mean, that's the best songs to sing. You get your power ballad in, and you can really belt it out from your spirit, and you connect with the music. But if you're really not musically inclined, and the only objective is to sing a song that only you know at the top of your lungs over a great sound system, because I'm a great sound DJ. Sometimes you got to say, you know what, I don't have that song, or the internet ain't working. Yeah, I've had to shut some people down, and I have no problem with that.
There you go. Do I have a kazoo or anything like that? Can you hum a few bars? I've never heard that song before.
Oh my God.
Is it a real song?
I think it starts like a banner. Hell, I take that.
Do you ever how do you feel when you put the wrong song on? Is that something that you can easily recover from and be like, because I know you got the personality to recover from almost anything that happens. If somebody gets that wrong song, is it immediately just like, hey, no, this is the song you're going to sing anyway?
I am a karaoke bully sometimes, but no. I mean, of course, I'm in an establishment and I'm drinking. And I'm the only person in the bar outside of the bartenders who are typing on a computer. So yeah, I get stuff wrong. I get a little tipsy and I'll screw the song up. I just spin it real quick and I'll put a sound effect on and say something silly because I'm that way. Oh, my bad, wrong music. Hey, sorry about that. That's something I was singing, or maybe I played the song from the last person because I'm using the software where it gives you 2 decks. So I could put one song to wait while the other song's playing. So I've done where I've played the wrong deck, and if anything you could possibly do wrong in karaoke, I've done. So I just tell them, be patient, man. I got you. And they usually work with me.
But from what I heard, you bat a good, clean 950. So don't worry. Don't worry too much about that. Falcon Inn tonight, 1605 East 53rd Street in Chicago. Be there with our very own D Silk Sims. Thanks, buddy, for being on here with me today. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Anytime.
Find more information out there. Where can we find you on the world? Darian America?
Darian America at Facebook. Darian D Silk Sims at Facebook. Darian D Silk Sims all over the place. And you can also look at the American Silk Radio Network.
Hey, congratulations on that brick and mortar you got putting together. I'm gonna bring you back on to talk some more about that later on.
Excellent.
More Dino's Night Out here on WRMN. I'm going to bring Matt McNeil in, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the events that are happening out there in the world. The Martini Room's got a great open mic that's coming up. Kind of like karaoke, but you got to bring your own work. More Dino's Night Out right here on WRMN.
This is WRMN News. For a local focus, I'm Ben Boquist. Mark your calendars for Miracle on State Street, the dog adoption event, next weekend, November 16th. Save the date for Miracle on State Street, Saturday, November 16th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 501 West State Street in Geneva, Illinois. Are you ready to find your new best friend? Come out and meet lovable dogs looking for their forever homes. In addition to adoptions, they'll have photos with Santa Claus, food and refreshments, raffles with a chance to reimburse your adoption fee. You must adopt at the event and be present at 2:30 p.m. to win. And more surprises. Don't miss this fun-filled day to meet adorable pups and celebrate the season with us. Special thanks to Anderson Humane for helping with this wonderful event. For a local focus, I'm Ben Boquist.
Hello, I'm Dennis Green. A woman has been chosen to be the White House Chief of Staff for the first time. News Nation's Brooke Schaefer reports President-elect Trump is going with his campaign manager, Susie Wiles.
She's a longtime Florida-based Republican strategist. She has been credited with running, of course, a successful campaign, but as we mentioned, also for being someone extremely loyal to Trump, a trusted advisor for him, known for being able to manage Trump and some of his impulses. In some of our conversations with the campaign, some have even joked that Susie Wiles is the only person that Trump listens to. He even credited her in his victory speech this week.
Wiles is Trump's first cabinet pick since winning the election. Trump went through 4 chiefs of staff during his first term in office. For WRMN News, I'm Dennis Green.
WRMN News, produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
Discover the authentic taste of Italy at Mazziano's Pizza and Pastaria at Route 20 in Nestler in Elgin. There is one true fact of everyday life that never dulls: the simple pleasure of eating great Italian food. At Mazziano's, they'll make sure your dinner or lunch will be the best part of your day. Whether you have a taste for pizza or any of Mazziano's homemade Italian recipes, like ravioli or lasagna, they can also cater your party. Enjoy it any way you like: delivery, carry-out, or dine-in. Visit Mazzianos.com.
What makes a great pizza restaurant? The obvious answer: great pizza. A local favorite since 1983, Pizza Pub Wisconsin Dells has been serving up the best pizza in the Dells. Year after year after year. Not hungry for pizza? Try the homemade lasagna, chicken parmesan, burgers, salads, and an extensive kids menu. Or take a trip or two to the all-you-care-to-eat lunch buffet. Pizza Pub, walking distance to water parks and hotels in Wisconsin Dells. Searching for a financial partner that truly has your best interest at heart? Join KCT Credit Union, where they're more than just a bank. They're a not-for-profit financial cooperative. KCT members are owners, meaning profits go back to you in the form of lower loan rates, higher savings rates, and fewer fees. Experience personalized service that puts you first. Become a part of KCT, where your financial well-being is their top priority. Visit kctcu.org. Each account insured up to $250,000 by member's choice. This institution is not federally insured.
From morning coffee to your evening commute, WRMN 1410 AM is here for you. The faithful friend that brings you local news, timely topics, and the friendliest voices in the Valley. Stay informed, entertained, and engaged with our full lineup of shows, streaming all day, every day at WRMN1410.com or on the WRMN app. Wherever you are, we're right there with you. So why switch stations? Stick with the one that has it all. WRMN 1410 AM, your daily companion, your constant conversation.
Welcome back to Dino's Night Out. Thank you very much for joining me here. Man, it has been such a great time. This is the type of pace that just kind of lets you forget some of the worries, some of the doom scrolling, some of the just like the nastiness that's out there in the news, or a way for the distraction. Back to that entertainment aspect of it, enjoying life again. Like we always have this thing where we just have to be so down on ourselves, or down on the country, or down on a thing. It's like, let's get something uplifting. And there's nothing more uplifting than spending a great time out, eating great food with good friends. We really appreciate Darian Sims being on with us. Great friend of mine as well. He will be at the Falcon Inn. Go ahead and get some of that karaoke life that's in there. That's tonight. The Falcon Inn closes all the way to 2, but just like he said, you got to get in there early if you want to make sure that you can show off your karaoke skills that are there. As we go through some more events, I, of course, brought on the entertainment concierge himself, Matt McNeil. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Thanks again for having me on a second time.
Anytime, my friend. It is so great to have good conversations with you. And what I like as well is sometimes the audience gets to listen to those great conversations.
Yes, of course.
That's here. So we're talking about karaoke, and then now I want to bring up open mic. Over at the Martini Room on Sunday, November 10th, for those of you playing at home, that is 8 p.m., November 10th on Sunday. The Martini Room, 161 East Chicago Street here in Elgin. It's literally just down the street. I bet if I poke my head out the door here, I might even be able to like see it, of how close it is over here. While you're going, hey, wave and say hi to the station. Check out our new Image 360 signage. Man, it's so nice. It's really good. I can't brag about it enough. Open mic night at the Martini Room, and open mic nights are a little different than like karaoke nights, Matt. It's kind of like you show up with the karaoke, and I don't want to necessarily say training wheels with it, but you show up with a different atmosphere of like, these are going to be covers of things, or it's going to be my voice, their music, et cetera, et cetera. Open mic's a little different.
Yeah, I would say, well, I've never, so open mic, I know.
Oh, have you ever been to one?
I went a long time ago.
Yeah, so the way I've done the open mics before is it's a plethora of different styles.
Yes.
So some people might go up and recite something.
Mhm.
Somebody might go up and play a song on their instrument that they brought. Or I've even seen people reenact like monologues before, which is really cool. Like they really loved a monologue in a movie. And like I've seen that V for Vendetta monologue that somebody did where he just goes off on all of these different V words and everything else. And it's like not necessarily the slam poetry or anything else like that, but it's kind of like a plethora of things. You might get some spoken word, you might get some songs, you might get the different types of things.
There could be poems.
Yeah, or they could be somebody who literally just wants to play an instrument and not sing. Because karaoke kind of forces you to do one thing. I'm going to sing with the music. And open mic kind of lets you go out from there. Now, I know you've been to the Martini Room at least.
One time.
Yeah? How did you like it when you were
I
over
liked
there?
it. It's a cool atmosphere. It's definitely like very inviting and relaxing to go to, but also kind of spunky too, and you know, got a little bit of fun energy. And
I like the dark lit with some of the neon that they've got. They've got a really good vibe in there over there. And we're talking about the Martini Room. That's the one here in Elgin, 161 East Chicago Street. They've got open mic coming this Sunday. Wrap up the weekend with open mic night at the Martini Room, where local talent shares everything from music and poetry to comedy. Enjoy the relaxed vibe and get a taste of Elgin's creative community. What did you get when you went over to the Martini Room?
what did I get? I believe it was a some type of a Mai Tai. I went with my brother and my friend Drew. It was back like maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago. I was like 21, 22. And it was pretty packed in there.
Yeah.
It was like later in night. I think it was maybe on a Saturday. It was pretty packed in there. And I think I had gotten like a Mai Tai because at the time, and still to this day, I'm not familiar with certain drinks. I'm just not. So I was like, well, I'll stick with what I know and I'll have a Mai Tai. And
What's your flavor that you're looking for? Because you go after the flavor then, not necessarily the drink or the alcohol specific. What flavors of drinks do you like?
I like cocktail fruity drinks.
Okay. So
Something that's a little more sweet.
So like sweet as in like apple sweet or citrusy type of side to it?
I would say apple sweet.
Okay. So yeah, so you're going more of that sugary side of things, that more of the syrups as we talked about earlier.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a really good side. What I really like about the Martini Room is they'll actually work with you to actually get a good martini that you're after too. I asked for a sidecar, which is kind of like a margarita kind of in a different side. And I said, well, can you put a little sugar on that? Can I get an orange twist instead of the what have you? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. So they'll actually help you customize the martini or the drink that you're after with it. Now they've got some great recipes that are out there. They've got the espresso martini that is more of like a chocolatey type of side to things. Cool. And it's great. It's espresso, vodka, coffee liqueur, and it is chilled right there, shaken, right?
Yeah, shaken.
So go out there, enjoy a martini and some open mic side. The open mic over there is what I've heard is just as eclectic as the drinks that are over there.
Oh, yeah?
So lots of comedy, lots of just the relaxed type of vibe. Nobody's like slam poetry yelling at you for too long. It just
yeah, for too long.
The other one that we want to do is there's a Chicago tribute anthology at the venue at our friends down in Aurora. That's the venue, 21 South Broadway Avenue. Celebrate the legendary sounds of Chicago with the Chicago Tribute Anthology, delivering the band's iconic songs with authenticity, and energy. Sing along to hits like 25 or 624, and of course, Saturday in the Park. They do have a drink special going on as well. They've got it, the signature Chicago Sour cocktail, a unique take on a whiskey sour, and pair it with loaded nachos.
Oh my goodness.
For a perfect concert snack. Loaded nachos or loaded tots, Matt? What are you getting?
I don't know. I'm not even kidding. That's hard to decide because I love both. I think that they're both really good.
Would you get both together?
Yeah. And I share it.
Oh my goodness. The Chicago Tribute Anthology over at the Venue. You can eat over there as well. And of course, that great Chicago cocktail. That's there. Have you ever gone to see a cover band specifically because you like that band? Or have you just gone to a place and be like, oh, there's a cover band over here?
Yeah. There's a cover band. That's
okay.
Kind of how.
Yeah. Who have you seen? Have you seen anybody noteworthy? Or at least the cover band?
I've seen the Red Hot Chili Pipers.
Oh yeah.
So they are they call it bag rock. So it's like bagpipes and rock music put together. That's a lot of fun.
That does sound like fun. That's over there. So we're going to take a quick break here on Dino's Night Out. When we come back, we're going to look specifically about this weekend over at Rookie's Rock House. 3 nights, 3 different events. We're going to take a look at that when we come back. More WRMN Dino's Night Out after this.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Looking for a place to try for breakfast or lunch? You'll find a gem of a restaurant with amazing food and great prices at the Tripleberry Cafe, 435 Angela Lane in Crystal Lake. For breakfast, try Tripleberry's strawberry cheesecake French toast, ribeye steak and eggs, or carnitas skillets. At lunch, there's the AM burger or Chipotle chicken BLT. There's delicious homemade cream of mushroom soup. For tasty home cooking, Tripleberry Cafe is the place to be. Visit tripleberrycafe.com.
Looking for an affordable dentist close to home? Bender Dental Care in Elgin offers new patient specials from $29, including x-rays, a regular cleaning, and exam. Senior discounts, a no insurance discount plan, and care credit financing. Bender Dental Care is a full-service family dentist with an outstanding 5-star Google rating. To find out more, call us at 847-888-4333. Bender Dental Care, affordable dentistry, close to home.
As the Elgin Police Department continues to participate in the Distracted Driving campaign, they wanted to share some tips from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration website regarding safe driving. If you are expecting a text or need to send one, pull over and park your car in a safe location. Once you are safely off the road and parked, it's safe to text. Designate your passenger as your designated texter. Allow them to access your phone to respond to calls or messages. Do not engage in social media scrolling or messaging while driving. Are you struggling not to text and drive? Activate your phone's Do Not Disturb feature or put your cell phone in the trunk, the glove box, or the back seat of your vehicle until you arrive at your destination. Remember, the Elgin Police are conducting directed patrols to enforce distracted driving violations. Just drive and stay safe. A message from our friends at the Elgin Police Department and your friends here at WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Welcome back to WRMN. This is the final segment of Dino's Night Out. Thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate it. It has been an honor filling in for Dino while he goes and serves the honor of facilitating a wedding. Appreciate it, and congratulations to you, Dean, and your family. We really appreciate everything that you do over here. And like I said, it's been an honor to talk a little bit of entertainment with you guys. You better watch out. It may become Dennis's night out. No, I'm just joking. We've got on with us here to wrap up a little bit more about talking about the events that are happening this weekend. Of course, that is the entertainment concierge, Matt McNeil. Thank you, sir.
Of course. Thank you.
We're going to do a little bit of a venue spotlight. I know we talk about the Rookies Rock House here every once in a while, but we got a hat trick of things going on. So I decided, you know what? I think we should just do a spotlight on them and see. It's a great place. You've been over there. The one we're going to talk about is the one in West Dundee. That's 96 West Main Street in West Dundee. They've got events here tonight, November 8th. Tomorrow, November 9th, and of course, Sunday, November 10th. That's the whole hat trick of the weekend, so we wanted to do a spotlight. So the first one tonight, American Pie Emo Night. Matt, do you know what an emo person is? Are you old enough to know what emo is?
So, yeah, I mean, there's I guess kind of the emo from maybe the 90s, early 2000s, and then there's the 2010 emo. So yeah, I would say so. I would say so. And then there's also the representation of emo, meaning just general emotion, and then how it's played out based off of how people dress. I guess
punk kind of shattered, right? At one point, it was everybody's a punk, and it's no, I'm an emo, I'm a goth, I'm a it just everybody started moving over. Oh no, I'm an anarchist. Well, those different kind of things. American Pie Emo Night. Dive into a night of nostalgia with a screening of the cult classic American Pie, followed by a live set from the Thomas Ian Nicholas Band. DJ Thomas Ian Nicholas will keep the emo tunes spinning with hits from Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance, and more for a full throwback experience.
Oh my goodness.
That sounds like so much fun if you are into the nostalgia of the 90s and that Stifler's mom type of era of everything.
Yep.
And I think that's really neat to do these throwback parties. And now that we're getting a little bit older, when I first started going out and I was younger in that 20-year-old type of side, we didn't throw 90s parties. It was too early to start throwing 90s parties. You went to 80s parties. And now I'm starting to see more of these 90s nostalgia come out. Or even then with this, the early 2000s
the Y2K
nostalgia
movement is a thing.
So that's happening tonight, Friday at 7 p.m. over at Rookies Rock House. Again, I'll give you that address. That's 96 West Main Street in West Dundee. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So Saturday night, so you got 90s American Pie Emo Night on Friday. Now here on Saturday night, Poisoned Crew at Rookies Rock House. Rock out to the best of the 80s glam.
Oh boy.
With Poisoned Crew, a tribute band bringing all the energy and flair of Poison and Motley Crue's biggest hits. Expect leather, big hair, and all the fun of 80s rock.
Hey, you know what? If you grew up in the 80s, that'll bring back some nostalgia. You can dress up for it too. You know, getting all dressed up. And maybe you've got something in your closet that you're like, hey, I haven't worn this since the 80s.
Oh my gosh, yes. Or maybe you've got a picture. You've got a picture from the 80s or the 90s. You're like, I'm going to recreate that tonight.
Yep.
Is part of going out the preparation, the kind of the tease and the getting ready for it? Is that part of the night, or are you just like, nope, as soon as we put our butts in our seats and we're out the door, that's when the night starts? Or are you one of those, like, you like the buildup?
I love the buildup.
Yeah?
It's all about the experience. Once you get started to when you're ending, when you're driving home, taking off, you know, all of your clothes and stuff and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Maybe with somebody special, right?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. It's all about the experience. All about the experience, and you know, from start to finish. So
it is, and I like doing the dress up, right? I like the whole, like, I'm one of those gentlemen that owns shirt stays.
Yeah.
So obviously, I like to dress up a little bit more, and even collar stays too. Like I feel like I dressed up like a slob for this. No, I didn't. Please. But I like that. I like putting on not necessarily the costume, but I like dressing for the event. Like I said before, there's nothing wrong with going out, grabbing a burger and a hoodie and some jeans. But there's something different about putting on a nice pair of jeans, your skinny jeans or something like that, or wearing a blazer, or putting on the jewelry that you don't normally have, or God forbid you do a spritz of cologne. See, I don't like wearing the cologne during the office hours, because then
I'm like cologne all the time.
All the time, ready to go.
I get, you know, at home it's like it's too much cologne. I'm like, sorry.
Bye, I'll leave now. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hope you remember me. Hector Soto comes in and says, hey, Matt and Dennis, happy weekend. I like a strong Mai Tai or the Long Island. Yep, they are definitely dangerous, those Long Islands that are in there. Hey, you have a happy and safe weekend as well there, Hector. He hopped in on YouTube. That's youtube.com/@WRMN Radio. So as we wrap it up again, this is the final shot of the hat trick here. Fist to the Sky, a year ago today, Lost in the Echo, first light at Rookies Rock House. What do all those mean? Enjoy an evening of original music from 4 local bands, each bringing their unique rock sound. A perfect way to wrap up the weekend with a showcase of local talent across rock, punk, and alternative genres. So this is a great place to experience everything that Rookies Rock House has to offer. This is kind of like the sample platter to see what's out there. While you're doing this, try out the drink special of the night, Local Hero, a house brew on tap for a refreshing local flavor, paired with loaded nachos to keep you energized throughout the performances. Loaded nachos found their way back on the set list today again. That's telling you something over there. And I think this comes back, Matt, to what we've been talking about. I mean, at the onset of the show, is back to that local side, that open mic, that karaoke, that see the talent in your local community that's out there. And I really like going to some of those concerts that aren't the big headliners, that aren't necessarily a cover band of somebody else's music, but are a couple bands that have that genre arc together.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Because then the thing is then, you know, it's nice to have like a theme, but then you get a kind of a mixture of both. So there really is something for everyone too.
On Saturday night on the 80s Glam with Poisoned Crew over at Rookies Rock House, 96 West Main Street in West Dundee. The food drink special on that one is the Rockstar Cocktail, a vodka, cranberry juice, and Red Bull.
Oh,
alongside a barbecue bacon cheeseburger to fuel your inner rock god.
Oh my gosh. Red Bull gives you wings, as you know. With the bacon burger with it, you're going to get double wings.
It's like it's like a vodka and cranberry juice with a kick on there.
Yep, exactly.
That's pretty neat. And then to walk it backwards again, tonight, Friday night, the food drink special is over at Rookies Rock House. The Skaters Slam, that is, of course, to go in with the American Pie Emo Night. A whiskey spiked root beer float that pairs perfectly with the emo atmosphere. Pair it with Rookie's spicy buffalo wings for the ultimate snack. A root beer and some wings, man. Ooh, man.
Spicy wings?
Spicy wings. How do you
I
go?
don't know.
No, you're a lemon pepper type of fella?
I am, yes.
That's
I am
okay.
much more of like a sweet barbecue sauce.
Where do you go for your wings?
I like...
I know I put you on the spot. That's okay.
I know it's a franchise.
I'll tell you, look,
like
man.
the Applebee's.
We all got those comforts. I talked about Cracker Barrel. I love a good Cracker Barrel. Like, I'll go to Ray's Family Diner any time of the day you ask me to. But on that road, oh yeah, if it isn't Waffle House, it's that Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
That's there. So we all got our comforts. We all got things that are out there. But go out there and try something else. If you haven't been to Rookie's Rock House, check it out. 96 West Main Street, West Dundee. All kinds of other things that are going on. Dueling pianos over at Old Republican Kitchen on Randall. We've got live music of D-Rock at the Village Squire. We've got open mic over at the Martini Room. And of course, the Chicago Tribute Anthology. Oh, I almost forgot the Halloween Hangover Bash over at River Street Tavern. Lots of things to do this weekend. Thanks for hanging out with Dino's Night Out here on WRMN. And we'll be right back with a political talk show, Free Speech Friday, after the top of the hour. Thanks, everybody.
back to a political talk show right here on 1410 WRMN, your favorite local radio station. Today we're having a little bit of a discussion about the election and how that went, just general kind of consensus. You know, we did the long format coverage on election night. I hope everybody enjoyed that. As usual, Ben Demonium Boquist here with you on a Friday. Dennis Sonar Green, you heard him last 2 hours on Dino's Night Out. He put in extra radio time. So he's in the back getting all his Friday work done now, as it is. Joined, of course, by Elliot Serrano. You guys know Elliot Serrano is the newest correspondent, political talk show. Not necessarily correspondent, but just helper. You know, you call in, you give us your opinions on issues.
Yeah, I give you my takes.
Contributor, yeah. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, it's a thing I do. I've done it elsewhere. I've been a contributor to WGN Radio, WCPT. So I guess that will give people a bit of an idea of. Well, no, actually, no. WGN and CPT are really two opposite sorts of stations. So.
Yeah, in so many ways, but
yeah, but yeah, and then here I'm here at WRMN, you know, which is it's a nice place. This is
welcome to the city in the suburbs, Elgin, Illinois.
It is.
This radio station is special because it's 75-year history. I've talked to so many people who have been on the airwaves here, people who have ran the news department previously, people who have made jingles and done voiceovers. And this town, it seems like everybody has a little bit of history with this radio station. And now we're really focusing back on getting people in the air, getting personalities in the studio. And I just want to say, yeah, thanks for being part of the newest wave of contributors and people part of this history.
I very much believe in community radio, in local talk, about speaking to the issues that the neighborhood, people in the neighborhood, because after a while, you know, you look at the national perspective, you get the syndicated stuff, which is all about, you know, major market, big market, nationwide things, but you want to hear folks speak to your issues. So that's why I think this is important.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's one of those things like, of course, the industry is so different now when you talk about radio and just media in general, where it used to be the talk of the town, focusing on, you know, just the happenings and goings on. Now it's also, it could be the talk of the town in the way that we're out at events covering them, using actual digital media type of techniques. So you'll see us as a radio station going to ribbon cutting ceremonies with cameras and Marky B and things like that. You'll see us more around the area. So that's the cool part of the industry, at least I see.
And I do want to emphasize, you just said with cameras. So, yes. I mean, for folks who are listening on the radio or you're listening on the stream, you can also watch on YouTube. Every show on WRMN is streamed live on YouTube. And then what we're going to be doing is taking some of the highlights from each show and posting them, you know, on social media. So there is a video component to it, which I think is like the next level of media right now, especially with people being able to, you can stream your favorite stations on your phone. You can watch videos on your phone. You can take that with you wherever you go. And of course, WRMN is part of that movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're a resource to this community in that way, where we talk about advertising and, you know, how that's changed over the years, and even company meetings, things like that, things you even kind of broadcast out there in a private sense within your community at work. All these are kind of ways that we could help people, new branches of our tool cabinet, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So cool thing. We're focusing on a lot of podcasts as well. We do several podcasts with the River Media Network. So yeah, just kind of throwing that out there. I see in this bio that I wrote up of you after a quick Google search and some wrong results, but got to the bottom of it, that you have a podcast yourself, the Caffeinated Comics podcast. You've worked on a couple podcasts. What's your experience in the podcast space?
I mean, I remember when podcasting first started, right? I mean, how many people know that the reason it's called a podcast is because the first time you could listen to these these digital audio shows on the iPod?
You're touching a button for me right now, because my first podcast, I said, I'm changing this. It's not, they're not on iPods anymore. This is an oddcast. It's an audio broadcast.
Oh, I like that. But it
didn't catch on.
No, it's like Xerox is what everyone says when it comes to photocopy machines.
Yeah,
so
like Q-tip.
right.
Kleenex.
Yeah, and then but yeah, being involved in that whole digital media sphere, I started way back when. When it was still starting out, when blogging was still a thing. Remember when blogs were a thing?
Oh man, yeah. They just don't call it that anymore. I feel like just people do 15 tweets in a row.
15 tweets in a row. Or what's the big thing now? You can have a Substack.
Yes. Yeah, I have a Substack.
Yeah, Substack. But Substacks, if they're successful, they do quite well. Or you have a Reddit or a Substack. So, yeah.
I fall in the category of checking the box to have a Substack.
There you go. But
it's a good outlet.
It is a good outlet. So anyway, the question being, with all my podcasting, I really focused a lot on the geeky stuff. The comic books. Caffeinated Comics was a podcast that's still running now.
Okay.
It's still going. It's on a brief hiatus right now because my co-host, John Clark, decided he wanted to get away from the comic talk for a bit to talk about some old, some of his favorite British shows. So he was doing a series on this Brit comedy called The Young Ones. So the podcast was called The Old Young Ones, which... That was kind of cute.
Nice.
And he and a buddy of his were going through every episode of the number